Hello, welcome again to this new Metropolitan Discipline Inception series. And today we are going to cook. This is a cooking class. Metropolises are like cooking eggs. It's a recipe of cooking eggs. And it was an English architect, Cedric Price, that in the 50s, he mentioned that cities have evolved like cooking eggs in the past, no? From medieval cities, ancient cities that were like boiled eggs, no? With the walls around, which is the crust, and then the yellow and the white inside. So it was. Then in the 17th, 19th century, they exploded in the periphery of that. The walls were pulled down, it went beyond the walls, and it was like fried eggs. And now in the 20th century, it's like scrambled eggs. Everything, you don't have a core, you don't have a periphery, everything is mixed, and we really have all the functions together working in a scrambled egg, in a chaos that sometimes we do not understand. And I love that definition of chaos. Chaos is an order we do not understand. There is order, but we don't understand it, and we call that chaos. So now, those scrambled eggs are not just scrambled eggs. You have to put salt and pepper to give them some taste, and that's the basic infrastructures of water provision and electricity. And then you, as well, in that scrambled eggs, you put crumbles that which are the social facilities and the economic activities, the offices, the commerce, the hospitals, the education facilities, the sports, and so on. And all that makes the actual scrambled eggs. We saw in some previous presentations that out of these four alternatives for building up a metropolis, the only one that really works out is the fourth one, what is sustainable metropolis, the polycentric structure that we have talked about in other locations. So in that situation, every municipality is independent, plays a role within the general context, but every municipality is independent. So metropolises are now not anymore scrambled eggs. They are scrambled eggs on toast. And that way you can handle every toast in a different way, and it's not a full scrambled eggs table that the eggs fall down in the borders of the table. You can control the metropolis by putting those urban units within a toast and then dealing with them specifically in that kind of toast. So to sum up, the towns in the medieval times or late beginning of the Renaissance, you had the boiled egg, then you went into the fried egg, then you went into the scrambled eggs. So the future is a scrambled eggs on toast. And obviously those toast, you are going to present them in a dish, in a plate that you will ornament, and the green network of the metropolis that goes through and underneath all these municipalities is this continuous system that you have to provide for. So we suggest that you put those scrambled eggs on a lettuce base of that quality. And the public transports, mass public transport that links all those scrambled eggs together, that's the bacon that goes beyond these scrambled eggs and links the whole metropolis together. So you have every one of those municipalities that we saw before, the metropolitan digit, the BUD, that you can deal with in a local level, knowing that it plays a role within the general metropolis, and then we can discuss, you can discuss with the mayors, you can discuss with the different facilities, utilities, water, electricity, or ministries, transport, housing, and so on, how their policies will affect every one of those municipalities, one of those toasts, and then you can have a precise approach to each one of those toasts. And then you can really design different toasts, and they will all belong to the unit of the metropolis. You can have poached eggs on that toast, you can fried scrambles, or you can have not even eggs. You can have peanut butter, can have a croque-monsieur, but that is the possibility and the alternatives of the metropolis when you know what is the role your metropolis has to play in the international context, has to play in the concert of metropolis around the world. So you have to have your own metropolis, not copy others. You have to have your own strategy and your own metropolis. Every one of those toes can play a role, like in the chess game. We have talked about that many times. The central one will be the king, the queen will be the most important economic activity toast, and everyone will have a different role. And you must realize that there were urban components, housing, productive activities, social facilities. Even if they are metropolitan scale, they are systems in a metropolitan scale, you can have a precise, specific approach to them as an urban component. But there are other components which are absolutely metropolitan. No? The urban digit has to fit the metropolis. The salad, the ecological, the environmental area has to be across all these toes and has to be unitary, and the grey infrastructure, the transport as well. But you can manage those toasts, you can cook those toasts in a different way, and you can then have a very cultural approach to those toasts. You can have, if you are in Mexico, huevos rancheros, and if you are in India, you can have ox nosh scrambled eggs. So you really can apply that kind of approach to the specific cultural setting where you are dealing with. And to give an example, remember that in one of the previous presentations we had the BUD, the Balanced Urban Development Unit, the Metropolitan Digit design in India, which is different from other places. And you can even go into modern cuisine and do things which are out of, and that will be examples for the world of how your metropolis can really approach in a quality setting, high-level approach. So do remember, you cook a metropolis like you cook scrambled eggs, but you have to put them on toast to be able to handle the whole thing. Thank you very much. Next time we will see metro governance, and you can download these slides from the links which are in the video right now. Thank you very much.